Representative Pearson, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you so much, sponsor, and thank you so much to my Covenant folks who are here and people who are in the movement for justice, who are really hoping not only that we do something like this bill, but that we prevent these tragedies in the first place, because true justice is preventing gun violence. It is not having this happen. That's what we should be doing and focusing on. I am also, well, I know I support this bill wholeheartedly in spirit. It isn't fair. It is not right that people have access to these autopsies and these reports. I also think about the kids in District 86 and across our state who don't have parents in the way that we think of it, who don't have guardianship in the way that we think of it, who are under the care of the state, and in particular, under some potentially bad actors within the state. We would hope that everybody's life was going, in a great direction, all things were good, but that's just not the case. It's just not true. And in the cases, I think, that Ms. Fisher mentioned, there have been instances where people who have committed murder were free until journalists and others actually investigated the autopsies of those children and were able to determine that there were people who were endangering all of our public safety and all of our children, right? That eventually led them to get to justice. And so, as I believe it was Representative Terry mentioned, it's like really, truly being torn between the liberties, right? It's like I completely understand how tragic, how traumatizing this situation could already be, and the re-traumatization that is possible. And regardless of if you or I or anybody can find it, the fact that folks know that these autopsies are out there in the public and anybody has put them in any part of the web, right, is harmful and devastating. And as we legislate and as I continue to think through this before it goes to the House floor, I'm also thinking about the people who are not in the best predicament. Right? Not the people who with the two-parent household, not the folks who can afford the attorney, not those folks, right? Like that. I don't want to legislate from the position of the people who are connected to their state legislators and who can come up here. Like that's not who I am thinking about at this moment in time, because we also have to think about our decisions and the ramifications of them for the people who do not have that, who won't be able to call an attorney to then get the legal guardian information, who won't be able to do those things, and what the ramifications of this legislation would mean for them as well. And so that's what has me in a difficult position right now. And to hear that there are some gaps that could potentially be mended, I do wonder if before this is brought before the full House, there are amendments that could be offered that actually tighten this, that make it better and secure the liberties of both our parents and our guardians, and also secure the liberties of that child who is in the Department of Children's Services custody, right? Who, if this were to pass in its current form, there would be no way, right, for us to have checks on what actually happened to that child. And so that's what I'm thinking about today. But if you have a response for that, particularly the issue as it relates to children who are in the Department of Children's Services custody, I would want to know that. And I can...
Thank you, Representative
Thanks,
Pearson.
Chairman.
We do have 5 minutes remaining in this session. We must move along.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you have any follow-up on from Representative Pearson's comments?
Yes, I worked with DCS on this bill, and that's why they put the First Amendment on it to say state or federal law requires that gets DCS access to anything they need.
Mm-hmm. So give me, we need to get moving. Any further questions, though? Right quick. We need to move.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Representative